What's happening, everybody? Kevin here. Series X. Every YouTuber and their mom had the Series X except me this past week, and the embargo lifted to show off the backwards compatibility. Um, still, still don't know why we haven't. I don't think we've seen official Series X gameplay from any upcoming Series X game. I feel like I'm at the X Games, Series X. Um, I know they showed off a couple things. I don't know if that was Series X though, but we saw our first look. Well, not our first look. We've seen backwards compatible games run on the Series X before with like Gears 5. Looked absolutely amazing, but all the YouTubers posted up a video of them playing backwards compatibility games. We wanted to show off quick start, whatever that's called, where you just hop back and forth in between games, and then power of the SSD. Oh, it's all silly. And I got to say, it met expectations. I think I was disappointed about only being 800 gigs and not a terabyte. We know the operating system and everything else was going to eat up some, but 200 gigs, wow. Interesting to see how the Series S, or even the PS5, how that's going to fare. That was disappointing. What else? I guess just, you know, me just being dumb, expecting like, oh, every game's going to be running, backwards compatible games going to be running at 4K 60. That's not the case. That's not the case because, of course, these console games are very locked in. They have to have uncapped frame rate. That's why you're seeing the games that they showed. I'm pretty sure they gave them a list of games. But the one I'm happy to see run at 60 was Sekiro. Shadows Die Twice. That game to me is unplayable on console. 60 frames is playable. I will go back and play that game. Everything else I don't care for, so it's... Today's news was like, okay, cool. Like, Xbox is keeping that momentum going. That was my biggest takeaway is, oh, their foot is on the pedal. They had a shit summer, but ever since the Series S leaked, they've been on top of the world. Series S, they handled that well. Announcing Bethesda, and then pre-orders selling out pretty much everywhere. There's a party at PlayStation 5, there's a party at Xbox. I'd say everyone wants to be at the party at Xbox. Things are happening over there. PlayStation is just conservative and no one's drinking. It's like fake beer. It's O'Doul's. There's like two girls, but they're big, overweight, and hairy. No one wants to be over there. But yeah, I mean, Xbox is where it's at right now. They're doing good things. Now, I mean, the 800 gigs that gets you down, they showed off moving games from external to internal, which I was disappointed by the times. But I've never done this before. I've never done it on PC or anything, just because I'm the person that plays one game, deletes it, so none of this even matters to me. But they're like, no, it's much easier just to, or a lot, you can save a lot more money if you don't want to buy the 220 gig or $20 1 terabyte NVMe SSD, the proprietary thing from Seagate for Xbox. They're like, no, just use your external hard drive and it'll take you 10 minutes to transfer games. Which, yeah, I think that was only on like 1 or 2 games, but I mean, way better than actually downloading a game. But I wasn't that impressed. Everyone seemed impressed by those transfer times. Not me, but I don't know. It would be the route I would go. What else? What else did they talk about? I don't know. The controller. The controller, from what I hear, was a standout. I don't think I heard anything bad about the controller, which was kind of crazy because I think everyone was kind of down on the Series X controller just because it didn't make as many improvements as the DualSense is. But I think these people, and let's be real, these are people that got early access. They're gonna say glowing things just because they want to keep that early access with Xbox. And they all had like really nice things to say about the controller. It's a little bit smaller, the texture grips, the D-pad, which I was very interested in, seems to be pretty good. And I think someone said like there's the weight distributions like in the handles, so it just feels really good. And a lot of them said they can't even go back to the Xbox One X. Like they want to just game on the Series X. Very cool stuff. Very cool. And what are we about? Yeah, about a month and a half away. So it's coming. It's coming. I'm tired of these old consoles. So looking at my PS4 Pro right now, I'm just giving it the middle finger. And yeah, let's see what Sony does, because Sony needs to get their shit together. Their messaging and everything, they're just saying, hey, we got great games, and you're going to spend $70 to play them. And that's going to sell another 120 million consoles. It might, but if I'm Sony, I can't just sit over here and see Microsoft buy Bethesda and putting their console out early into YouTubers' hands and showing it off and just staying in the limelight. I feel like Sony, all Sony does is like they'll come in the limelight for like a second, like, oh, here's our game, and then they run away, and I don't know what Sony's scared of. You're number one, dog. Come on. But what really excites me about the Series X is now that they got 23 studios. Now, keep in mind, these games are still not coming out for a while. I don't know what the nearest game of their studios is coming out, like Psychonauts, which I think is next year. But yeah, 2021, 2022, once these studios start releasing these games, because they're all in pretty much early development, look out, because you got 23 studios. I don't even know how they're going to spread them out. But let's just say each studio puts out at least one or two titles this generation. You're looking at 40 first-party games. And we're not talking about like any third-party exclusives or exclusive games or second-party exclusives, excuse me. Can't think of the word. So, I mean, you could probably add 20 games there. So you're going to have like 60 first-party exclusive games 60 exclusive games for the Series X and Series S. They're going to have some bangers. They're going to have some great games. If you're just drawn to that platform to begin with, they're going to make something for you. They're going to have at least 4 or 5 like 90+ Metacritic games. If they don't, it'll be a huge failure. It'll be such a huge failure. I mean, shit, even this generation, they got Ori and the Blind Forest. I don't know if the Blind Forest, but Will-O-the-Wisp, Flight Simulator, even though that's more PC side. But yeah, very cool. Very cool stuff from Microsoft. Again, that's where the party's at. And I'm going to go hang out at their party. If I can't get laid over there, I guess I'll go to Sony and fuck one of those fat hairy bitches. Anyways, I'm done. I will talk to you later. Later.